What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're doing a Raw recap. We started off with a recap of the Drew McIntyre-Brock Lesnar WrestleMania match, as if we haven't seen it 5,847 times. Drew McIntyre comes out. He thanks everyone at home for their support. We then have a short recap of the Big Show Drew McIntyre match that was after WrestleMania. Shortly after this, McIntyre is interrupted by Andrade and Zelina Vega. She tells McIntyre that Andrade was robbed of his WrestleMania moment. McIntyre talks about the last time they met on NXT, he got injured. McIntyre says, if you want a match, you're on, so that's later tonight. We then go on to our first match, Asuka versus Ruby Riott in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. This was an okay match. It was rather predictable. After a few near falls, Ruby Riott taps out to the Asuka lock. We then have an in-ring interview. I don't know what Asuka was saying, but I think she was saying she's going to be winning Money in the Bank. We then have MVP in the VIP lounge, wasting time, but he is telling us what we're going to see next week. In Money in the Bank qualifying matches, Rey Mysterio versus Murphy, Aleister Black versus Austin Theory, and Apollo Crews versus MVP himself. Looks like Apollo Crews is going to win his first match on Raw. We then have Aleister Black versus Oney Lorcan. Somehow I think this match was booked by Baron Corbin, because there were grapple moves out the ass. Lorcan was showing some good offense through this match, but he succumbed to the Black Mass kick. Aleister Black wins. We then have a recap of the Becky Lynch-Shayna Baszler match, which segues into Becky Lynch coming out. She talks about WrestleMania and says that anyone who wins the Money in the Bank match, that she'll be ready. In another Money in the Bank qualifying match, we have Sarah Logan versus Shayna Baszler. This really was a quick match. Shayna Baszler beat down on Sarah Logan. Baszler stomped on Logan's arm. The referee called the match. And in a botched bit of announcing, the announcer says that Sarah Logan wins it. What? But later on we find out, being that she was unable to continue, that the match went to Shayna Baszler. Good going, WWE. We then have Akira Tozawa versus Austin Theory. This was an match. It was basically just a talking point for Zelina Vega. Theory won with the ATL. After the match, Andrade and Angel Garza comes in. They beat down on Tozawa. Alright. We then have Angel Garza versus Tahuti Miles. Hopefully I didn't butcher that man's name. Some random fan who's sitting at ringside. This is a glorified squash match. Angel Garza won with the wing clipper. After the match, Austin Theory and Andrade come in, do the same thing as the last match. In the last Money in the Bank qualifying match for the night, we have Kairi Sane versus Nia Jax. This is a glorified squash match. Nia Jax won it. We then have Charlotte Flair coming out. She gives us a history lesson. Flair talks about her path from Royal Rumble up until now, and that her next challenge is going to be Io Shirai, and that she's going to be bowing down to the Queen. Whatever, we haven't heard this shit 5,000 fucking times already. We then have a recap of the Aleister Black Bobby Lashley match from WrestleMania, which segues into Bobby Lashley versus No Way Jose. Lana's at ringside. Shortly after the match starts, Lana is sitting there screeching at Bobby Lashley. He gets out of the ring, tells her to STFU. It ends with Bobby Lashley giving a spear to No Way Jose, getting a pin. We then have the Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. This is an match. I was kind of split on this one. The Viking Raiders won it. So much for the push for Team Cedric Ricochet. Because on one side you had Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, the new team trying to get a push, but you already had a very well-established tag team in the Viking Raiders. And no matter which person won this match, someone was going to look bad on it. They really should have put Ricochet and Cedric Alexander against a bunch of jobbers and just left it at that. Hey, cool, you got to win. But no, we had to screw this one up. Backstage, there's an interview with the Street Profits. It basically goes nowhere. They're talking about a match against the Viking Raiders. They're joking around. Bianca Belair tells them to wake the fuck up. At this time, I'm just hoping, please, please, please don't have them be an add-on to the main event match. To which is next, the main event, Andrade versus Drew McIntyre. Zelina Vega, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory are at ringside. Can't see anything nefarious happening here. This was, however, a good match. Actually, the only good match of the night. There was a lot of back and forth through this match. They actually played on their past in NXT a little bit. Andrade working on the arm of Drew McIntyre. Zelina Vega did try to interfere. McIntyre got the Claymore kick, got the pin. After the match, Garza chop blocks McIntyre. Seth Rollins comes running in, gives McIntyre a super kick, and follows it up with 2 curb stomps. Rollins stands over McIntyre as we end tonight's Raw. The matches on Raw were, they weren't all that great. There were some good ones. The main event was really good. I liked that one. The women's qualifying matches for Money in the Bank were rather predictable. Jerry Lawler's back. Please send him home. He really needs to shut the fuck up. Apparently, the Orlando government says that the WWE is essential, so they're going to be going on with tapings or live events for Raw and SmackDown. Seriously, I really think they need to just put everything on hold until all this shit blows over. But that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back later this week with the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.